Hi guys, it's Dakota. I want to start out by saying that I hope every single one of you, your friends, your family, loved ones, are safe and well during this really horrible time. There's really no other word to call it. This is a very scary time, and I'm actually doing a little healing spell, which I normally do not. I'm not sharing my spell work with you, but in this case, without going into the details of what I did for the spell, I can just show you that this is a vintage wine bottle, and I want to say it's either what is her name? Mother Guadalupe? I'm sorry, I don't remember what that's called, or it might be the Virgin Mary, I'm not sure. This this is a statue of Hecate. It actually was, I've heard it pronounced different ways, so I'm going to spell it Ceres. I've heard it pronounced Ceres. I've heard it pronounced Carries. It's pronounced different ways. However, she is, when I saw that statue, it called to me Hecate, and so she has been consecrated, and she is now one of my Hecate statues. And I'm using a blue candle for healing, and my spell work is for world healing. This is not a personal spell, so this is just for world healing. I think that we need it right now. So it is for all of us, because even if you are, whether you yourself are sick, you know somebody that's sick, or you never run across anyone that's ever even been involved with it whatsoever, I'm telling you that the world is in a bad spot right now, and I think that we could all use a little healing anyway. I've dressed it with some very special oil, and around the little, that's just a little lid off of a jar, because it was a wine bottle, so that's actually the spout of the bottle, has a hole in it. So that's a lid that I got off a little jar, and I just wax sealed it on there, and then I just put my candle in there. And so in the base of the lid, I have lavender and herbs, and I chose lavender because, you know, lavender is also for healing, but lavender is good for stress and anxiety, and it's good for calming. And I think that right now, with all the media hype and the hysteria and the panic, the doom and the gloom that, you know, a lot of us are feeling, I'm hoping that the lavender will help with that as well. I also have, this is my self-healer crystal. I have that on there, and so I just wanted to do a little something for world healing, I guess. And what led me to this was, I usually post my videos on Monday or Tuesday, and I did a video on Monday, and this time I purposely deleted it. Yay me, right? I didn't delete it on accident. I actually purposely deleted it because I didn't like the energy that that was coming out of me. I was talking about the virus a little bit and things that were going on, and I didn't like it, so I went ahead and deleted it, and I said, nah, I need to get my head straight. And so I did some meditation and some cleansing and clearing, and then Tuesday I tried again, and it started out good, and I fell right down into that rabbit hole, and of fear, you know, of not only feeling the fear, but having it exude from me. and going out. And I thought, I teach sympathetic magic. I believe in sympathetic magic. I believe in like attracts like. What we put out, we get back, all of that. And here I was so engrossed in the media, social media, reading all the news reports, watching the news, and getting more and more fearful. And something happened last night, and then the confirmation again of that came today, which is why I'm here right now. Last night it hit me that if this is the end of the world, like if this is it, if this is the end of the world, then what do we have to fear? Because it's the end. That's it. It'll be the end. I mean, what good is fear going to do you? If it's the end, I mean, just live out what you can safely and as productively as you can, and that is allowed by the laws, etc. But I just thought, wow, if this is the end, well, there's nothing I can do to change that. And I'm certainly not going to sit here in fear and panic and, feel sick and worry and all of that. If this is the end, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to do my things. I'm not going to be dumb. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to, exercise what I feel are the right things to do. And then the other thing was, and if this is the end, then it's the end. Nothing we can do. That's it. Okay, it's the end. But on the other side of that, if this isn't the end, if this is a trial, obviously, that has been set before us, that we are having to deal with, then I take that as, I don't know, this is what came over me, almost as a challenge of growth, of self-growth and self-awareness. Awareness, period. Not just self-awareness, but awareness, period. Being aware of what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're treating others. Don't you find that whenever there's a crisis, everybody is so loving and the community comes together? And it doesn't matter if you're pagan, if you're Christian, if you're Hindu, it doesn't matter. Everybody comes together and we all try to help each other. And then once the crisis is gone and forgotten about, so is the kindness and the coming together. We forget about it. So I felt like if this is the end, then this is the end, and I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, because what is that going to do with, it's just not going to do anything. It doesn't serve my highest good. So I'm really not going to. Am I going to be concerned? I'm going to be aware. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be aware. I'm going to be aware of my surroundings, how I handle things, that type of thing. Because when this passes, when this goes away, and that is my belief, and that is part of my spell work, when this goes on, and when they find a cure, or when they find the vaccine, or whatever it is that has to be done, I will have new growth within myself, and a new awareness of a new way of looking at and observing and knowing my true self. So it was really like, so then I have nothing to fear with that either, because the growth will come. That will come. When this passes, the growth is what's left over. That's what's left. And so I'm feeling, I'm feeling so much stronger, and I'm pretty confident in my work. I feel that I'm pretty adept at what I do, and I feel confident in my work. Is it going to go out and heal the world? No, it's not. It's not. And that was not my intention-ish. It was to heal, and it was to heal the world as the universe sees fit. And but I'm doing my work, and that's all I'm going to do. And so that encouraged me. So that thing that happened last night encouraged me to kind of sit here today and tell you about that. But the other thing that happened was I went out for a little stroll around the woods. I didn't go in the woods. I was in my flip-flops, and the snakes are awakening right now, and I only just had my little bare feeties out there, so it wasn't all about getting bit by any snakes and all of that. So I was on the edge of the woods, and I was just kind of walking around, and I had my camera, and of course I'm taking pictures of anything and everything that I can. And I was noticing all the flowers, all the flowers that are blooming. I think they're called, I just had the name of it. What are they called? Anyway, early bloomer flowers. They're kind of out and about right now. I think we had they're either wild jasmine or wild honeysuckle. I don't know. They're pretty yellow flowers in the woods. And taking pictures of all of those. And I came in, and I was going to post it on Instagram and on Facebook. And just kind of, sat down for a minute and just closed my eyes, and I started thinking, well, I wasn't even thinking, but all of a sudden, it was more like that. It was like I closed my eyes, and all of a sudden, I heard Maya Angelou's voice. And she said, "And still I rise." And I sort of opened my eyes, and I went, "And still I rise." And I wrote it down, and I thought, okay. Well, then I got to thinking about my store and about my classes that I teach. I'm here on Friday because I closed my store today. It was a very, very hard decision. And I'm a small business owner in a small town. I'm hoping and praying for the best outcome. We'll see. Tomorrow, I've been open until today. And yesterday was very, very, very busy, as was the day before. And yesterday, though, I went, no, I'm not doing this again. This is not safe. This is not social distancing, and I'm not going to do that. And so today I took a self-care day. I took the day off. And I am going to open tomorrow, but we are opening with restrictions. And one of the restrictions is limiting the number of people that we allow to come into the store. And that's really, I'm talking like 3 or 4 people at a time. I have a fairly large store, but 3 or 4 people is it. No children, which we've been doing this week. No children will be allowed in the store. And also we're going to go ahead and open up the phones. So if you want to call in your order or, do an email or Facebook me or whatever, you can. I'm not trying to plug my store. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And that way I'll get the orders ready. A lot of the stores are doing that. I've noticed restaurants. My friend has a bookstore. She's doing it. My friend has a coffee, has a coffee shop. They're doing it. A lot of the stores are doing that. Curbside delivery. So you can call in, and we'll pull the stuff for you, run your credit card, and we can even run it out to your car if you want. And but I'm limiting the amount of people that are coming in. So anyway, but I was thinking about my class because I had put on Facebook, does anybody know a social video chat that we can do, because I need to teach my classes and I'm not sure how to do that. And so I had posted that, and A couple people responded. Well, the sad thing about that was we did not get to do our spring equinox ritual, and that really pained me. It was painful. And then I got to thinking, well, this funny synchronicities, because this is how this hamster in a wheel has revolved for me. So I'm thinking about the Ostara ritual, and what's really kind of funny is, if you've watched, I don't know which video it is, somewhere down the road, one of my videos, I think I talk a little bit about the Sabbats, talk about the Wheel of the Year, and of course right now, the Sabbat this is the spring equinox, and that is the Sabbat, it's the spring equinox. But in the 70s, I'm not even going to go there, but in the 70s, somebody named it Ostara, and it stuck because they didn't think that the spring equinox sounded pagan enough with all the other Sabbats, so they named a few Sabbats that way. And so because of that, it really, because I used to celebrate, but then it just not way back then, but I'm saying I still celebrated Ostara because I never knew until probably about 10 years ago. And then it really put a bad taste in my mouth. And as you know, I was not raised religious, all of that stuff. And we did Easter bunnies and Easter baskets and, that kind of thing. My mom loved to do stuff like that. But my mom was not religious, and I was not raised religious. Thank you. And so, but Ostara is one of my least favorite, rituals, one of them. And so the only time I do anything for Ostara is for our class, when we have ritual for the class, because it's important that they learn the history and everything of it, which they did. And so therefore, because of that, on my own, I don't do ritual on my own for Ostara or for the spring equinox. Well, as I'm looking through the pictures that I took of all the new flowers that are popping up, and I'm getting ready to post them online, look at the pretty flowers, it hit me. And I thought, wow, even though we are in this unprecedented situation, unknown territory, uncharted waters, fearful times, scary times, times of uncertainty, the spring equinox, the wheel still turns. And the spring equinox and spring is upon us. The spring equinox doesn't care. And therefore, the flowers are doing what they do. They're coming up and they're blooming. And as I said, this message that I got, and still I rise. I don't know, it hit me, sorry. Ooh, getting misty-eyed. That doesn't happen very often with me. But, the spring equinox I will not light a candle. If anything else, again, I will not celebrate the spring equinox. Life goes on. Our earth is a beautiful place, and has so much to offer. And I know for me that when this passes, because like I said, I know that this will, and whether I'm here or whether I'm not, I'm okay with that, honestly, because I know that life goes on, and still I rise. I mean, it was powerful. It was powerful. So, stay safe, stay well, be smart, be aware, be grateful. Allow yourself to grow through this. Happy spring equinox.